This is a demonstration of how to use the Google Draw that I've set up today for you to draw 6 phases of the cell cycle. Interphase, which of course is 90% of the time, we're going to show a cell in interphase, basically not undergoing mitosis, and then the stages of mitosis: prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then cytokinesis, the division of the cytoplasm. So I have created some drawing elements, but you may want to size them or flip them or something. So let me give a little demonstration. Let's pick one of the phases. Let's do prophase. That's a cell that is getting ready to divide in the first stage of mitosis. So I'm going to go get one of these animal cells, and I'm going to get a kind of generic one. Now, the first thing you can do is click on the arrow. I've made these really tiny so that I could make the drawing file big, but I clicked on the arrow over here, and then you can click on any one of these shapes and highlight it. And once you've highlighted it, you can do Control C to copy it, Control V to paste, and you have a duplicate. Now, if you can get the little cross symbol, you can drag it. You can also use the arrow keys to move it. So I'm going to make this cell a little bit bigger because I have some more room. If I can get the arrow in the lower right, it'll change the size without changing the shape. I could also make it longer if I wanted to. Oops, you got to know whether you're moving the cell or shaping and sizing it. But I think I'm going to keep it just the blob it is. So, oops, I said I was going to do prophase, not interphase. So I'm using the arrow keys to move the cell now. So this cell needs a nucleus because, of course, the big thing about mitosis is getting the genetic material, which starts out in the nucleus, into identical copies into the daughter cell. So we have to show what's happening to the genetic material. So we need a nucleus, and we're going to say that the nuclear membrane is beginning to break down. So we're going to get this breaking down or reforming nuclear membrane. Control C, Control V, and I've got another one, and I'm just going to do some arrow keys to shoot it over here and up into the cell. Okay, so we need to think about, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so that it's easy to show the nuclear material in it. And we need to think about what the DNA looks like inside the nucleus in prophase. In prophase, we say that, so over here we have chromatin, and we have replicated chromosomes, and we have chromosomes. So which do we have in prophase? Well, we know that the DNA has replicated itself during interphase, and in prophase it has condensed so we can see it. So I'm going to do Control C, Control V, and get some of these nice fat replicated chromosomes. Control C, Control V, they're visible. You can see them with a light microscope. You have to stain them, but you can see them. And chromosomes are not all identical. They come in slightly different sizes and shapes. So I'm doing Control C, Control V to copy each one, and then hovering over. I've still got the arrow selector up here, hovering over until I get the cross symbol, which enables me to drag it. Okay, so I have got some condensed chromosomes. Now there's some other things over here. Some centrioles. Okay, well, centrioles are good because they are part of um, mitosis. So what are the centrioles doing in prophase? We've seen some diagrams where the centrioles are beginning to separate. So I'm going to highlight one, and then I'm going to shift click so I can highlight both at the same time. So I can do Control C, Control V, and copy both. Now they're a little bit big for this cell. I'm going to make them a little smaller. And now I'm going to unhighlight them. I'm going to do one at a time and drag them. So what are the centrioles doing typically? They are beginning to separate. I'm having a little trouble positioning this one. And we sometimes see spindle fibers beginning to form between them. So let's get some spindle fibers. Control C, Control V, and I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to do some stuff to this before I put it in the cell. I'm going to copy it again, Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to select Arrange and Rotate and Flip horizontally. Now I'm going to move this guy so it is facing the other one, and I'm going to highlight both at one time with a shift click. And now I'm going to go up here to the top, and I'm going to rotate this because my centrioles are at an angle to each other. So I'm going to put the spindle fibers in kind of at an angle in between the centrioles. And I didn't quite get them where I wanted, or maybe they're just a little bit big, so I'm going to downsize them a little. And there they are in between the centrioles. So I've got all the essential elements of prophase. I've got the condensed replicated chromosomes, the nuclear membrane starting to break down, the two centrioles starting to move apart, and some spindle fibers forming between them. I have showed you that I can size things, I can rotate things, I can rotate the centrioles, I could rotate these chromosomes if I wanted to, change the shape of things, Control C, Control V to duplicate them, drag them, etc. So I think you have all the elements you need for all these two. By the way, oops, come on, highlight what's going on here. There we go. These two are grouped together. That's for your cytokinesis. I'm having trouble moving them. Arrow keys. Chromatin for when the DNA is not condensed. Think about what stages the DNA is not condensed. Chromosomes, that is what were the sister chromatids when the chromosomes replicated. These separate, remember, in anaphase, and a couple different options for cells with cleavage furrows forming. Remember what stage that happens. And I think you've got everything you need to use my elements. You can also draw your own. Let's make some of these tools a little bit bigger. There's under the line tool, you can do a scribble. This is what I used to draw the cells. You can go up here and you can change the color of anything you've drawn. You can change the line thickness of anything you've drawn, make it really fat if you want to. So then if you select the arrow, you can size it, you can shape it. The arrange will let you flip something. You can rotate it using arrange, or you can rotate it using the little axis thing that is sticking out of it. Control C, Control V to make a copy of anything that you can drag around. If you want a dotted line, you can go up to line types here. That's how I made the breaking down nuclear membrane. Remember, you can resize anything on a corner. You can make it bigger or smaller with the same shape. You can change the shape by, you can make something long or fat by dragging on one of the dots on one of the sides. So you can make cells of pretty much any shape that you want to. Let's see, you can select shapes. You can once you have a shape, let's say we wanted to draw this is how I did the centrioles with rectangles. You wanted to draw a rectangle, you can choose your fill color. We could make this one green if we wanted to. You can choose not to have an outline, transparent, or you can have see if I click off this, it has no outline. or you can make your outline color any color you want. You can make your outline as fat as you want. See, now I have an outline around my rectangle. So have fun and draw all 6 stages interphase, which remember is at least 90% of the cell cycle, the 4 phases of mitosis, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and then cytokinesis, the last step in the cell cycle when the cell divides and the 2 daughter cells get ready to begin the cycle anew.